Good morning, everybody. Sam here, United People's TV. It's Thursday. We're not in the Europa League, so big plus for that. We might be. Hopefully, we don't get knocked out of Champions League. But let's speak about last night's disappointment against West Ham. I can see from the comments already there's plenty of you who want to get involved in this conversation, and there's plenty of fallout. There's going to be plenty of reaction and plenty of debate. I want to speak about Donny van de Beek in a bit more detail today. I want to speak about Anthony Martial as well. I want to speak about Solskjaer. I want to speak about the team. I want to speak about the mistakes we saw last night. There's going to be a lot of conversation today because ultimately last night was extremely disappointing. Man United losing 1-0 to West Ham, 27 shots we had. How many actual real chances did we create though? They were shots. They were stat-padded shots. You saw my match reaction. I listened to what all of you have said in the comments over on Facebook and on YouTube. I've gone back to doing the short match reactions. I love doing these live videos. There's going to be plenty of live content here on United People's TV, but I like it short and I like it snappy. After you've watched 90 minutes, you don't want us to be sitting there 40 minutes listening to me ramble on. That's why I'm going to keep my match reactions 10 minutes or under from now on, and they won't be live. But these are always live, and these are highly interactive. So I hope that you would like to subscribe, drop a like on the video, and hey, join as a member. I can see plenty of members in the comments already. Dan Hibbard, Abby, you're there as well. Takeoff, you're there. Or Jason, T, Josh, Ian. Probably more as well. I can't see there's too many. All the members are down there. So make sure you get involved, get your comments in, and let's have a discussion and a debate about yesterday. But there's one thing I want to say straight off the bat, and that's about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So many people, look, when United lose at the moment, we saw it after Young Boys. We're seeing it after West Ham. The Ole out brigade come out in full force, armour on, elbows out, dual akimbos, ready to fire. They're waiting for opportunities to pounce. And I want to say something that's very, very succinct and very clear. Last night, if Manchester United won, that would not have made Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a great manager. Winning the League Cup would not have made Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a great manager. Winning the League Cup would have been a bonus according to the course of what we want this season. But winning the League Cup under Mourinho, winning the Europa League under Mourinho, winning the FA Cup and the Van Gaal, their trophies, what did they change? Absolutely nothing at Manchester United. The only two trophies that will have an impact on the feeling that we have fans towards our club is the Premier League and the Champions League. So Solskjaer winning the League Cup this year wouldn't have made him a great manager in the same way that Solskjaer going and getting knocked out of the League Cup doesn't make him the wrong manager. All right, that's as much as I want to say on that particular topic right now. I don't want to get involved in an Ole out debate and a conversation. I had to defend him last week. I'm not defending it again, man. It's bullshit. I'm not doing it week to week. I'm not that sort of reactionary person. But I do want to speak about Donny van de Beek, because for me, Donny van de Beek was very good yesterday. I wouldn't say Donny van de Beek was incredible. I'm not here saying that he's the best thing since Xavi and Iniesta. Oh my God, how can he not play him? But in my opinion, Solskjaer has to start him in the Premier League, man. He has to give him the opportunity because he's had two performances here. First 45 minutes against Young Boys, I thought it was very good. And if it wasn't for Wan-Bissaka's red card, he would have got the full 90. But here again, he got the 90 minutes. Finally, Donny got 90 minutes. It won't be a happy one. We lost 1-0. But Donny did very well. And what I liked from Donny, if we have a quick look at his stats here, what we saw from Donny yesterday was somebody who really progressed the ball. 81 touches, 84% passing accuracy, had 91 in the first half. I thought it was better in the first half than he was in the second half. But Donny van de Beek, as you can see from his heat, he's a progressive midfielder. What we saw from Donny yesterday was somebody who was passing through the lines, who was moving through the lines. And I really want to see Donny start against Aston Villa. I don't think I will see Donny start against Aston Villa. And it's about the balance in the midfield. It was balanced yesterday because we saw Donny playing alongside Nemanja Matic. That therefore allowed him, gave him the opportunity to go a little bit further forward. Where's my heat map gone? My heat map's disappeared. I was halfway through the conversation there. Jeez, how rude of you. SofaScore, come on, man. If you're going to sponsor me at some point, at least make your website work. But yeah, I thought Donny was very impressive yesterday. You let me know what you think about Donny in the comments below. I'll head down there and see what you have to say about him. But we've all been calling for Donny for a while. And I think yesterday he proved that. Those passes, that pass in particular to Mason Greenwood, I thought it was fantastic. Look, Mickey, you completely disagree here. Oh, please stop. He ran like a headless chicken and lost the ball too easily. I swear, people, that's the beauty of football, man. All of us can watch the same game. We can even watch the same player and the same performance and come out with two completely different points of view because we're looking out for different things. Donny, if you're talking about players who run around like headless chickens, my friend, Fred is the most headless of chickens. He runs around twice as much as Donny. Just don't know why a chicken makes that noise. But that's what Fred does. Fred is a headless chicken 9 times out of 10. He's good defensively because he's got the energy there. But in terms in possession, and I've said that's the big problem in Manchester United's midfield, our progression and our possession. Donny can do that clearly so much better than Fred. Let me go down here. Chris, you think he did well there? Donny deserves a start, says Chris Boyle. Donny needs more games, says Klein. The amount of times he tracked back and made tackles. Again, look, yeah, you're definitely underplaying the value that we saw from Van der Beek in his actual defensive work there as well yesterday. He made, especially higher up the pitch, when he missed his tackles, but he won the ball, certainly in that second half towards the end. He showed me a real quality in pressing, in winning the ball high up the pitch, and it made a bit of a difference to United's attack. He's not completely useless in defence. I do think he's better in the opponent's half than he is in his own half, but it's not to say that Donny van der Beek can't do that. Or what you're saying, good to see you this morning. Where were you last night? How dare you be sleeping? It's called match game sharpness. Donny needs to play to get it. Donny and Scott all the way. I think that's probably something that a lot of you want to see is Donny and Scott McTominay playing together. I would like to see it as well, but at the same time, as we saw against West Ham, Scott McTominay was given the freedom to go forward. Fred was tasked with sitting further back. I can't see Scott McTominay playing that position, sitting further back and allowing Donny van der Beek to go forward. I think it could work. It could happen, but I don't think it is. Charles, you're watching the whole way from Melbourne, Australia. How you doing, Charles? Welcome. Nice to see you. Why don't you join? You join the likes of T and all members from Australia. We're getting a big Australian contingent on here. If you'd like to get involved, drop a like on the video and subscribe to United People's TV. What we at now on the old subscribers list to see what we can get to. Oh, look, we can hit. Come on. I don't know how friendly everyone's feeling this morning, but let's get 207. All we need less than 50 subscribers. We've reached a new milestone, 207,000, and then we're only 3,000 away from the big giveaway. It's been a bit quiet here on United People's TV in terms of the people watching in the last couple of weeks. It's because I tell you what, you're all, not all of you, because you're all here watching. United fans of sport, man. When we're playing well, everybody wants to watch. Everyone wants to talk about it. When we're not playing well, we just go, nah, sulk in a corner. Nah, can't be asked to have that conversation. Mate, football is about winning and losing. Doesn't mean you shouldn't have the conversations about it. Craig, you're saying DVB did all the work in midfield yesterday. I thought he played very well. As I said, I thought Donny van der Beek earned his stripes yesterday. Sure, he could have done more, but hell, everyone could have done more yesterday. If I'm looking at players that came out of yesterday with some stripes, I'd probably say Diogo Dalot played quite well. I think Diogo Dalot, if we had Greenwood or if we had Ronaldo in that box, we would have made a lot more opportunities from the crosses that he fired in. Alex Telles, yeah, not really. I think our fullbacks played okay, apart from the first 10 minutes where everyone played absolutely horrendous. But I think Dalot came out. Well done, Dalot. I think he did okay. Matic played okay as Takeoff is pointing there. Yeah, he played okay. I did like it when he needed the West Ham player in the balls. Got a lot of time for that. Ref didn't do anything. Ref. Didn't do anything. Prove it, ref. Gregory's watching from Brisbane in Australia as well. Look, man, Australians joining in full force this morning. Make sure you join as a member as well. Get involved. It's been a bit quiet the last couple of weeks. As I said, not many subscribers, not many members. Everyone's feeling a bit stingy because we lost the young boys. And I think that's what it is, the cycles, up and down, up and down. Hell, if we go and beat West Ham, we go and beat Villa on Saturday, and mate, have we got Villarreal during the week as well? I'm sure that everyone's going to start getting excited. If Matic was 5 years younger, that run he did into the box yesterday was great, wasn't it? Who was it? Was it Martial that spooned the chance? Matic breaking through the lines. It looked great. We've got Brent, you're saying Dalot is better on the ball than Wan-Bissaka. I think he showed his worth yesterday, for sure. I thought defensively he was okay too. But there weren't many players really that came out from yesterday with a lot of credit. And Abby, you've just done a super chat right there that really, I was about to move on to him. Morning, Sam. Martial proved all my fears and my worries about him. Was too lazy to even be a footballer, in my opinion, let alone a striker. Donny and Dalot also played well. Would love your opinion. Everybody, You let me know in the comments below what your opinion on Anthony Martial was. But I'll be honest, I'm doing a video at 1 p.m. that's going to go out. I'm doing a video on Anthony Martial, and I think he's finished. I think his Man United career is finished. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'd like you to watch my video I'm putting out at 1. But yesterday was the opportunity for Anthony Martial to re-establish himself inside Manchester United's striking options. We've got Ronaldo, we've got Cavani, we've got Greenwood. We're spoiled for choice up there. But yesterday, he got the chance. He was given the full 90 minutes as well. It's not as if Solskjaer hooked him for a bad first half. And it was a bad first half. It's a bad first half from really everybody. But Martial, for me, is game over as far as I'm concerned. And it's a hell of a fall from grace from somebody who was our 2020 Player of the Year, who scored 23 goals. Martial, for me, he jars. And this is what I said yesterday, actually. I said this. So Matza and Martial are just too jarring to watch. We're trying to build towards something that's got real pace. Bruno, Greenwood, Rashford, Pogba, Ronaldo, and Sancho. Mata and Martial are the opposite. We have to play completely differently with them in the team. And that's something I really strongly feel, that once upon a time, Martial fit inside this Manchester United team and it worked. But now, when I see Martial coming in, Manchester United play differently. Manchester United don't play as well. Manchester United slow down the play, and it's just not working. It's not to say that Martial is an absolutely horrendous footballer. I think Martial can go somewhere else. I think Martial can have a very good career. I just don't think that's going to happen at Manchester United. Let me see what you're thinking about Martial in the comments, though. Martial is not an ST. He's a left winger. I did say, if you looked at my squad for the season, I said that Martial is more of a backup to Rashford at left wing than he is as a striker. But he's getting played as a striker. Rory, I love Martial, but I never thought he suited the style of play for any of our managers. I also don't think he's really bothered, which is sad to me. I think it's a little bit of 50-50 there. I think he definitely has suited some managers. I mean, a player of his quality will suit most managers, really. But yeah, it's not that Martial's body language is very different to most footballers. He's got a resting bitch face. It doesn't mean he's not happy. He's got a slow persona. Doesn't mean he's not moving. But he is, with the body language. And again, I don't want to say too much because I want to save it for the video later. But when you've got players like Bruno and you've got players like Ronaldo who are setting a different standard and work ethic inside the team, players like Martial stand out like a sore thumb. And that's the problem now. Things have changed at Manchester United. Martial, judging by that performance yesterday, is not changing with them. Akshay, what are you saying? Not for Ole out. He will need time to match the level of Tuchel Klopp, but he should clearly see VDB can play in that Fred spot with his passing abilities. Even Delot distributes cross-field balls well. I think having now seen Van der Beek against Young Boys and having now seen Van der Beek in a 90-minute game against Premier League opposition, obviously it was not Premier League quality opposition because they made 10 changes, but so did we. Van der Beek has proven across these 2 games that he deserves the opportunity to play and start in the Premier League. Fred is so out of form right now that he doesn't. I've said it all along. Play players on form. Bring players into the team. Bring players out of the team when the form is or isn't there. And therefore, Fred should be out of the team on form, and Van der Beek should be in on the opportunity that he has earned through his performances. Simple as that. James, you're saying Martial is exactly the same as Pogba, just lazy and wants everyone else to do the work for him. Where did that comment just go? James, I mean, I'm not sure why you're trying to drag Pogba down into this situation after Pogba's had a fantastic start to the year. Let's not try and divert the conversation here. Pogba, sometimes, it depends what position Pogba's playing in. But again, that's not particularly Pogba's game. But Pogba has the quality that makes up for it, mate. He's got like 5 assists in 7, 8 games. Let's not try and slap Pogba with that stick right now. Everyone's saying McTominay CDM. Look, I've said out of all the squad members that we've got, McTominay strikes me as someone who could be crafted into that role, molded into that role. I think he could be. We haven't seen it just yet, but I still think he could be. Let's find out what goes on next. Everyone, as always, keep firing in your comments. As I said, this is genuinely the most interactive show, United show you're going to get on YouTube. I involve everybody in the comments. From next week, I'm going to be bringing people on regularly every morning in these shows as well. Maybe I'll even give non-members a try. But right now, it's just members who get the opportunity. Take off. I can see a comment from you there saying his body language is horrible to watch. He doesn't want to run around and work hard to be a Manchester United's number 9. He should be sold this summer. Now, we're getting reports saying that Martial's getting linked with a move away from Manchester United in January. If a bid of like 40 million comes in, I'd be surprised if Manchester United were to turn that down if that bid did come in. I just don't really see... it's about being cutthroat, man. It's about being ruthless. And Manchester United, we've got Ronaldo and we've got Bruno in now. So the thing, our willingness to wait has massively changed because of the players that we do have in this squad right now. If we not signed Ronaldo, had we not signed Bruno, Martial could peter along and just do this, just carry on. Things are different at Manchester United right now, and therefore the levels are different. JJ, an excellent comment, and this was random AF. Elanga at left back. I mean, that's basically what happens when you're 1-0 down and you need as many attackers on as possible. You just put a winger on at left back. Go on, that'll do. Hey, it semi-worked, but Elanga definitely better better receiving the ball further up the pitch. That's what we saw during pre-season. But that was just a desperate move by Solskjaer to try and change the game. Speaking about Solskjaer and speaking about the game, let's have a conversation about basically Solskjaer's reaction to the game. Evab, you're saying Lingard was the worst player on the pitch. I'm not sure Lingard was the worst player on the pitch, mate. I think Martial definitely was. We had 27 shots. Martial, he didn't have that many of them because he was never in the right place at the right time. We were reduced to pot shots. Van de Beek, few shots from outside the box. Bruno, few shots from outside the box. But it was West Ham who had the biggest opportunities. And they should have been 2-3-0 up towards the end rather than United getting the equaliser. John, you're saying sell Martial in January. Mason Greenwood's better than him, not even at left wing. Hey, look, Mason Greenwood came on and probably made more of an impact within 1 minute of playing than Martial had the entire game. That's how poor Martial played yesterday. And as I will say in my video that's going out later on at 1 p.m, not that I've mentioned that so far, this is not a knee-jerk reaction about Martial. This is an opinion that's sort of been sitting under the surface for a long time. And I've watched it for long enough now that I'm allowed to say this opinion in a fair and balanced way without simply just pointing the finger after a loss, which some people are very good at doing. I'm going to try and make it more balanced. But let's take a look at what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had to say after that game. Gary Rambo, you're saying Ole has to take trophy games more seriously. Look, man, we lost the semi-final last couple of years against, was it City both times? The League Cup would have been a bonus to Manchester United. It would have been a bonus to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer this year. It definitely would have been. And winning that in February could have been that momentum builder, but it's not there anymore. It's not going to break our season. It's not going to make our season. It's something we're going to forget about, hopefully, and bury like we did. We buried the Young Boys game with a last-minute winner from Lingard and a last-minute penalty save from De Gea. And that Young Boys game got buried straight away. We're joint top of the Premier League, ladies and gentlemen. That is the focus for Manchester United this season. Right now, we are succeeding in where we are focused. Not in the Champions League. That was a poor start. But we've still got 5 games to overturn that. Not worried about the Champions League. And we're top of the Premier League. So I don't want to hear any Ole out bullshit whilst we're top of the Premier League right now. It's madness. But let's speak about what Solskjaer had to say after the game. These are his quotes. Run through them one at a time and we can have a conversation about them. Is this first one here? Some players will be stronger for us. We got to the semi-finals for the last 2 years, and it's a competition we've got tradition to give players minutes because we need to think about the bigger picture. Today, we made that decision, and some of them will definitely come out stronger for it because they've now got 90 minutes under the belt and are ready for the league and the Champions League and the FA Cup when it starts. Now, my first immediate reaction to that is very simple. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made a big mistake yesterday, changing all 11 players. I said it in my predicted 11. When it comes to rotating teams, you don't rotate the whole team in and the whole team out. You rotate some players. I think if we kept Bruno Fernandes inside that 11, I think if we kept maybe Maguire or Varane, maybe Varane inside that 11, I thought the fullbacks played okay. I don't think you would have seen such a huge drop-off from Manchester United, in my opinion. Saying that, we still did play okay. We had 27 shots. We were in control of that game for large portions of it. But hell, we were in control of games under Van Gaal. There's a difference between being in control and threatening. And United did not threaten yesterday, no matter how many shots we had. And Solskjaer's got to take some criticism for changing all 11. I don't think he should have done that, in my opinion. But David Moyes at the same time, he made all those changes and West Ham scored early and West Ham won. So maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was a bit of a mistake. Abby, what are you saying? Sam, do you think the responsibility of the defeat should be on the players or the manager? I feel the players are getting away with poor performance since everyone is focused on blaming Ole. The fact of the matter is we had 27 shots. If you can't blame the attackers for not scoring when they've had 27 shots, when can you blame the attackers? Martial, Lingard, everybody there. We created way more than enough chances to score. We didn't score. Therefore, the players have got to take a lot of the stick from that yesterday, in my opinion, because I thought it was very, very poor from the finishing of us. Sure, you could argue, as I've just done there, that Manchester United shouldn't have made that many changes. I don't think we should have. I think it was a mistake. But we still created 27 shots. So for me, the players have got to take some serious stick for that. Can see Rishav, you just joined as a member. Good morning to you, Rishav. Where are you watching from? Nice to have you on board. Nice to have you here. Abby, what are you saying? Martial's disappearance in games is astonishing sometimes. We might have played 10 versus 11 and performed better, I guess. What do I think? Look, as I said, Martial really didn't come away with any sort of credit yesterday. It really was poor from him. And I'll be surprised if he gets any other chances, really. I don't think he should get any other chances, not as a striker, not when we've got Ronaldo, Greenwood and Cavani. We only played one striker, remember. Fergie always had 4 options for 2 spots. 3 options for 1 spot is plenty, and that doesn't involve Anthony Martial. Anchor, you're saying Donny was good, but we can't get him in the team. Even with a CDM, probably gets in the middle. Remember, Rashford is yet to get back yet. It's a good point there in terms of Pogba and Rashford and what happens with the team. But I'm talking about right now, my friend. And we've got Villa on Saturday. And players on form, Van der Beek gets in that team ahead of Fred. Simple as that. Anybody who wants to join Rijav, hit that join button down below. Less than the price of a pint. Your way of supporting the channel. And as you know, I keep putting everything back into the channel to make it bigger and better. But as I said, Solskjaer deserves criticism, I think, for the fact that we changed all 11 players and it was hard to build momentum. It's always hard to build momentum at that point. But at the same time, we had 27 shots, man. These players have got to be better than that. We had a poor start, says Solskjaer. Then some good bits. And then towards the end, we went gun-ho. We opened ourselves up. And of course, they could have scored a few more. I thought the boys gave it a real good go. Sounds like Sunday League. Worked really hard. And we ended up with 27 shots, which is quite remarkable. Maybe you could see some players needing minutes, but that's natural. Look, man, Solskjaer said after the game, look, we have to have faster starts in games. We do, man. And we've been saying that for a long time, and we're still seeing these sorts of starts. That is what happens when you make that many changes. It was always going to be shaky. But then it was immediately not shaky 10 minutes in when United went 1-0 down. It's like the players have literally been brainwashed into not really performing until we're 1-0 down. I think it's absolutely madness that we continue to just do that. That's a habit that's just built itself. Rory, what are you saying? Actually, I would like to know what you think about Sancho being played on the left when we actually started to play on the right. Rory, it drives me absolutely mad. It drives me mad to see Jesse Lingard play Lingard on the left, man. Sancho needs to play on the right-hand side. I don't understand it at this point. Am I missing something? Is Sancho telling Solskjaer behind the scenes, yeah, play me on the left, man. I quite like playing on the left. I actually prefer it to playing on the right. Because I can't for the life of me see any sort of reason as to why Sancho is not being played on the right-hand side. It's what we signed him for. That's why we were all so excited to sign an actual right winger who's going to play on the right wing, and instead is just not playing on the right wing. It's kind of blowing my mind. It really is blowing my mind. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. I'll go back to that in a little bit. But as I said, poor start, mate. We've seen that so often against Solskjaer. I would say it's just as much of a habit as coming back from losing positions. They kind of go hand in hand. Our attacking play, we didn't create enough big chances, says Solskjaer. We built pressure, but we couldn't score. We had a couple of big chances. Mason came on, had a decent one. We built pressure, but sometimes, that pressure doesn't come to anything. Now, that's spot on. Manchester United, we had so much possession. We had so much going forward. We created chances, but we didn't make big chances. There's a huge difference between having 27 shots and having shots on target and shots that are dangerous and shots that force saves. We didn't have many of them. Mason Greenwood, you would have backed him all day long, really, to score that chance. But Van der Beek ball over the top was beautiful. But he just came on. He wasn't completely. You would hope that he would do that, but I'm going to slam Greenwood for that. It was a tough chance. But we hardly made any big chances, and that frustrated me. Let me go up to the comments here and see what you're thinking about Sancho. Relative with Sancho, who is behind him? Delot, AWB, Shaw, or Tellez? I'm still convinced that Wan-Bissaka is going to be made into a better fullback because of Sancho, but that partnership needs to develop by both of them playing on the right-hand side. Let's have a look here. What you're saying. Right. No one's really saying much about Sancho. Poor lad. Let's move on to what else we're hearing from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Greenwood made an impression. Mason came on and made a positive impact. No doubt about it. He was fresh, sharp, and could have had a goal. It was a little too late. In the last 6 or 7 minutes, of course, we're going to go gun-ho, and they could have scored a couple. Has already said that. Look, Greenwood did come on. As soon as Greenwood was warming up, Old Trafford roared. Bear in mind, this is a 19-year-old, still a teenager, getting everybody on their feet in Old Trafford. Just the anticipation of him coming on. He's made a real impact at Manchester United this season. He absolutely has. And Greenwood, you even saw it. Greenwood on the right-hand side there. That's the position I want to see Sancho in. He was squaring up to defenders, going inside, and then running and cutting to the byline, and then trying to fire balls in. That's what I want Sancho to be able to do. But we don't play him there, man. Really annoying me. It really is getting on my nerves. As I said, Greenwood, he did make an impression. It was fantastic when he came off the bench. And there's no way that Martial gets in ahead of Greenwood. There's no way that Martial gets in ahead of Ronaldo. And there's no way that Martial is going to get in ahead of Rashford when he's starting left wing. So Martial, where does he fit in this team? I don't know. Before I quickly move on, if you do want to subscribe, get involved. As you can see, literally nobody has subscribed. In fact, I've lost 2 subscribers during this stream. People are feeling very stingy at the moment. Lots of comments firing in those. So keep your comments coming in. I can see we've got a new member too. Casper. I'm going to call you Casper. Hopefully I've got your name right there, my friend. How you doing, Casper? Where are you watching from? Rishabh, I didn't see where you're watching from there. Oh, sorry. Too many comments coming in. Always do this. Greenwood might just be the second coming of Ronaldo. Let's see what happens there. But he's certainly in fantastic form here. But welcome, Casper. Nice to see you on board. Casper and Rishabh joining the members family today. It's a good place to be. Get involved. But let's go back to seeing what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had to continue to say. Talked about the Old Trafford atmosphere. It was absolutely fantastic, incredible, blah, 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 blah. Don't care about the Old Trafford atmosphere, mate. We'll keep going. We've got lots of games. What's he saying? We've got lots of games, and we'll keep on doing what we're doing and trying to get results. We started the season okay, apart from we're out the cup, which is not great. Haven't had the great result in Europe. Yeah, look, in the league, we've had a very fantastic start today. But we just haven't done it in the cup competitions. But if I'm honest, my priority is the league. So as long as United keep that up, that's good. Can we slam Moss too, says Thomas. Clear pen not given. Look, it's becoming a bit of a joke now. I don't really know what Manchester United players need to do. Do we need to lead the pitch on a stretcher? Do we need to get elbowed in the face? What the Man United players need to do to earn penalties this season? I'm really not sure, because it was a clear penalty against, let me pull up the picture. It's absolutely ridiculous. It was a clear penalty against Lingard last night. There's no way that it wasn't a penalty. He just literally got grabbed. I think it was Mark Noble who grabbed him, got grabbed, got pulled behind him, wasn't given as a penalty. I've got no idea. Casper, where are you watching? Good morning, Sam, and all United fans. I don't want to say that, but I'm feeling like I feel like I saw that last season. Only the first team will play good. Players from the second squad are not good enough. That's what I didn't want to see this season, my friend. But we saw it yesterday because we made so many changes. It's very hard to keep that pace and that momentum up if you don't keep certain players in the team. That's why I was surprised that he made 11 changes. But man, yesterday, how is that not a penalty? John Moss, you're literally right there. I can see your big chubby face looking straight at that ball and straight at Mark Noble. You can see his shirt getting pulled. That's not a difficult decision to make as a referee. What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? That was such an obvious penalty. And if we look in there, we look at Lingard. That's obviously Kufau. Look, Ronaldo's knee clashed against West Ham. And then Kurt Zouma decided to quite literally, completely and utterly take Ronaldo out and put his hand on his back for measure as well. We've got 3 penalties there that we haven't been given in the last 2 games. And they are not the reason that Manchester United are losing. Let's get this straight. This is not me trying to deflect on Manchester United's failures last night, because there was plenty of failures last night. This is Manchester United's lack of penalties, and it's a separate conversation, but it all intertwines. 11 minutes in, we get that penalty, 1-1. We bury their goal early on. It might have been a very different performance because Old Trafford would have been G'd up at that point. Instead, John Moss did absolutely sweet fuck all. That's ridiculous that wasn't given as a penalty. And the last 3 decisions that have really gone against Manchester United have all been ridiculous. Now, I'm going to open it up to everybody. You fire in your questions. As I said, fire not just comments, but questions, things that you want my opinion on, things that you want us to have a conversation and a debate about. If you'd like to, fire them in a super chat, and I'll definitely answer the question, because sometimes there are too many comments and I do miss all of these. Was a penalty, says like the ref is blind. It was odd. It was very, very odd from John Moss. It really was. Rondo saying, who's co-advising Ole? Well, that'll be Mike Phelan. Obviously, he's assistant manager, Michael Carrick, the 2 managers. As I said, I don't think Manchester United's coaching staff are good enough to match the ambition that we're heading towards now. I don't really think so. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got his flaws as a manager, but he's got so many positive attributes that have really helped Manchester United progress. I would like to see Solskjaer get someone else behind him who can really help him sort of develop that tactical side to his game. Because, every great manager does have a great assistant manager. It's just you don't hear much about them. At the moment, I don't know whether Mike Phelan is good enough to do that with us. Let me see what you're thinking down here. Anthony saying, Sam, after all that has happened, do you still believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will bring the Premier League and the Champions League to Old Trafford? That is what he needs to do this season. That's his goals. That's his ambitions. I don't personally think he'll be sacked if we don't win either of those. I'm not going to explain why. I don't need to explain why at this particular moment in time. I'm going to see how the season develops. But nobody can argue against the fact that Manchester United have progressed as a football club. I'm not just talking about the performances. I'm not just talking about the results. Mate, we were in the pits as an entire club and organisation a few years ago. And a lot has happened. The decks have been cleared and we've got a squad now that's capable. But these players with performances like this, it's just going to reinforce the fact that Solskjaer feels he can only trust his starting 11. That performance there won't help anybody really get game time. Rotation is going to be such a key thing for United this season. We didn't do it properly last night. Chris, you're saying he needs proper coaches, not just jobs for the boys. It's something that I actually do really quite strongly feel. I haven't seen enough development in Manchester United's midfielders to suggest that Michael Carrick is really coming in and doing that job as a proper coach. I think he's a great... I'm not calling Carrick a cheerleader, but Carrick and Fletcher are 2 players that players can look up to. Yeah, I want to be that. Cool. They're great role models, but are they great coaches? Questionable. Correct question, Sam. Will this be the right call to make? A team A team 4-2-3-1, B team 3-5-2. I don't want to see Manchester United using different formations. Mate, in terms of A team and B team, we have to stick. There has to be this style that goes through the entire squad so that everybody knows what to do when they come in and they come out. That's what Manchester United need to do. Cicero, how you doing this morning? Hey, look, everyone's enjoying the conversation today. Cicero, where are you watching from? Nice to have you on board. Let me know where you're watching from and I'll give you a shout out. We can talk about Mata. Mata, I thought, was quietly impressive yesterday. I thought Mata, but again, Mata for me is too slow. Mata makes Manchester United play differently when he's in the team. That's why I don't particularly like watching Juan Mata anymore in this Manchester United team. And why Mata, in my own opinion, should be leaving at the end of this year. Simple as that. Thomas, what you're saying? Tellez is not the Champions League player we signed. He played badly. I don't think he played absolutely horrendous yesterday, but he certainly didn't play impressively either by comparison. And I'm very surprised as to the version of Tellez we got when we signed him. Was it 27, 28? Champions League established from Porto. I was like, that's a cool signing. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Hasn't really done it. Hasn't really done it at all, really, for Manchester United. Not yet, because Luke Shaw's kept him out of the team for quite a lot of it. Can see a comment here from Cicero, new member of the gang. Good morning to you as well, Cicero. Thank you very much for joining in. Good to have you on board, a few of you this morning. And it's as I said, on United People's TV, I try and be more level-headed. Look, more level-headed even. Try and be more balanced. I try and be more fair. I'm not here. If you're here for the big, loud, shouty, reactionary reactions, you're in the wrong place. You know where to get them. You're not going to get them on United People's TV. Let's go back to the comments and let's see what you're all saying. Do you think Donny can play the pivot while Pogba plays down the left? I absolutely do think that can happen. I think that Pogba The only bad thing for Donny is the fact that when Rashford comes back in, Pogba's going to drop into that pivot position, and he's going to be the main player there. Therefore, it's going to be who fits around Pogba. It's probably going to be Matic. It's probably going to be McTominay, maybe playing there with Pogba. Not really sure. Have we ever played that one, McTominay and Pogba? Probably have played it at some point, but they certainly haven't played that much together. Young Cruz saying, Sam, do you know when Rashford will resume matches? I think we're going to see Rashford after the October international break. That's when I think we'll see him. We might see him just before, but I don't really why we would risk that. Why we would risk that. I don't know why we would. I think we'll leave Rashford until after the October international break. Bring him in, give him as much time as possible. The last thing we want is for Rashford to come and sort of aggravate it. Anthony, I prefer a 4-2-2-2. You're saying new CDM with Van der Beek, Pogba and Bruno, Cavani and Ronaldo. That takes away from Sancho. There's every formation, every style you've got at Manchester United. The problem will always resolve around our central midfield. It was the problem going into the season. It's the problem now. We always know it is. But Donny has proven that he deserves an opportunity. And it's how Solskjaer should be looking here and saying, how can we get Donny into this team for Villa? What works here? And maybe that's going to be Matic. Maybe it's going to be McTominay. Maybe it's going to be Fred. I don't know, but I think he deserves a chance. What did I think of Dean Henderson last night, says Carl. I thought Dean, first game back, I thought Dean played okay. Could he have done more for the goal? Court? Yeah, okay. Well, you conceded. You could say in most situations, you could say the goalkeeper could do more when they concede. I thought overall he played quite well. A couple of smart saves towards the end in terms of keeping it at 1-0. Didn't do much when he came up for the corner, and that pass was absolutely horrendous that he did over the top, and that was the end of the game, really. Thought Dean did quite well, but De Gea is playing in such incredible form that Dean Henderson can't really be angry that he's not in the starting 11. And as I said before, I don't think he can begrudge De Gea's position there. Players earn their rights on form. De Gea deserves all the praise he gets, and he deserves that place in the 11. And until he makes mistakes, or until Dean forces his way into contention, De Gea will hold that number 1 jersey. That's Rishabh watching from India. How you doing, Rishabh? Pleasure to have you on board. Glad to have you in. So sad that Donny didn't get at least an assist yesterday, says Katerina. Look, if Green would have buried that chance, it would have been an absolutely stunning goal. Van der Beek played well. He really did play well. Cicero saying, Sam, Martial is a left winger. I said it before the start of the season. I said Martial is the backup. If I looked at the squad strength, I put Martial down as a left winger. I put him there as the backup to Marcus Rashford. Let's see what happens. I personally think that, as I said, that it's probably game over for Anthony Martial now. I'm going to record my video after this, get it edited, and get it up for you for 1 p.m. I do feel quite strongly on it. It's not an opinion which has just been formed on what I saw last night, but last night sort of reaffirmed the opinions that I've sort of kept and held to myself. And look, I do admit, as someone says there, Anthony, I miss 1920 Martial. I do miss 1920 Martial. I'm not sure he's there anymore. Seems like a ghost. Seems like he's gone. And I'm not sure he's coming back. I don't think he personally is. Oh, how you doing, man? Thanks for the super chat, my buddy. When Rashi comes back, he'll be a beast. The injury operation was a blessing in disguise. He needed the rest and his body needed it. Defenders are scared. Hey, look, remember, ladies and gents, how dangerous Marcus Rashford was last year, the whole of the season when he was playing through injury. Imagine what a 100% fit and ready to go Rashford coming into a team with Ronaldo and will do. It is scary times for defenders. He's going to come in and light that left wing up. I can't wait to get Rashford back in this team. I really can't. And people can slam him and slate him for Rashford's finishing. He needs to look up. There's certain things that Rashford, of course, he can improve in his game. But anybody who's not excited to get Rashford back in his team, I don't know why. I really don't know why. I think he's going to play great. And a big thing about Rashford coming in, that means we're going to see Sancho playing in his right position on the right wing. I hope anyway. Or Solskjaer might just piss us all off and play Rashford on the right wing where he's useless and play Sancho on the left wing where he's less effective. Please don't do that, Ole. Please don't do that. But I'm very, very excited to see Marcus Rashford back. And I do think that not the injury was a blessing in disguise, but look, we are joint top of the league. We're scoring goals galore, and we've done it all without Marcus Rashford. We've coped brilliantly in his absence, and that's because we signed Ronaldo. Now, when we get Rashford back into this team, it's going to get litty. That's what I would say. It's going to get very litty. Rashford, Ronaldo, and Sancho. Oh boy, I can't wait to see that. Matthew Grant, was Martial playing? I used to like the guy, but he's not his former self. I don't know. He shaved his head and he shaved his form. Martial's a goner, as far as I'm concerned anyway. Remember Fergie's first 3 seasons? They were saying Fergie out. I think Ole will be the right man. We can go to cliches. We can go to big conversation points like that. I'm going to try and avoid the cliches when I'm speaking about Solskjaer like that, but he deserves to be judged and criticised this season. He's got the squad. He's got the players, and we're doing it in the Premier League. That's what I'm saying. The Premier League is where Solskjaer will be. That's where he's going to be judged. So come the end of October, after we've played Leicester, Spurs, and Liverpool, let's have a conversation about where United are, how our performances have been in those 3 games, where Manchester United are in the Premier League. Because if we go well and we do well in those 3 games, there's going to be a lot more momentum behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's going to be wind in the sails of United, and there absolutely should be, because that's where we need to be judged. League Cup, it's disappointing, man. I wanted to win it. Everyone wanted to win it. It means nothing, though. It didn't change. It didn't change anything for the club winning it under Mourinho, did it? Champions League, it was disappointing against young boys. We've still got 5 games left. We should still be topping that group. If we top the group, does that game against young boys matter? No, it does not. It's just a bad stain. It's just a bad memory. Move on. Judge us when we're getting towards the end of the Champions League group stages and we know where we're at. Judge us when we get towards December. And it's very, very, I know it's easy to say that, but it's very easy for people to get sucked into the hyper reaction, the overreaction from game to game, from week to week. I've told you this before, people. It's not good for your health. Agendas are not good for your health, and neither is living on a week-to-week basis being a football fan of any club. You have to sit back and try and spot the bigger patterns. And for me, the biggest pattern that we're seeing right now is Manchester United are joint top of the Premier League after 5 games. 1-4. That's it. 5 games or 6 games? I think it's 5 games. But we are joint top of the Premier League. We are in the most important competition for us this year. We are doing exactly what we need to do. So we all need to just sit back and relax a little bit, right? Look at that. 13 goals. Nobody in the Premier League has scored more goals than Manchester United this season. Not City, not Liverpool, not Chelsea. Manchester United has scored the most goals. We have Ronaldo in our team. We've got 5 games. We're joint top of the Premier League, ladies and gents. All right? We're out of the League Cup. I couldn't give less of a shit. I could not care less. Sure, I really wanted United to win that game. Sure, I really wanted United to win the League Cup. But it doesn't change a bean. The Premier League's where we're going to be judged. We've got Villa on Saturday. How they've done it. They've won their last game, played 5. They're on 7 points. Had an okay start to the season, but a very mixed bag. United at home against Aston Villa. We've got to go big. My predicted 11 will be out tomorrow. Is it? Maybe be out early. Be out tomorrow at 1 p.m., but it's 12:30 kickoff. It's going to be a busy one. But as I said, don't worry, people. We're out of the League Cup. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't give any sort of more credence to the fact that Solskjaer out, Ole out. Doesn't change a bean. It would have been nice, but it's superfluous to the season. It doesn't actually matter. Let me go down here. I'm starting to see that Sam is sugarcoating Ole's bad coaching and useless tactics, says Amir. Okay, where are we in the Premier League, Amir? Top of the Premier League. That's what's important. You can go there and you can try and... let me just nitpick there. Let me just nitpick that. You can nitpick if you want, mate. We're top of the Premier League. End of discussion as far as I'm concerned. Joshua, do we have a pattern to create opportunities? Do you see a style that shows? City's cutbacks is well known and still can't be stopped. We do have it when we play with pace, when we play with incision. Unfortunately for United still at this point, that comes and goes. It really comes and goes. And it comes and goes with inside a 90-minute period as well. I'd love us to get more focus. I'd love us to do that more often. And that comes down to coaching. And certainly that comes down to Solskjaer and the players themselves. I'm not saying that Solskjaer is exempt from criticism, ladies and gents. But we're top of the league. So he's exempt for a lot of it as far as I'm concerned. Let's go down here. Being Donut FC, Man United are not a full force. He could have just brought a midfield for the sake of buying a player, but he's only willing to spend on the right players, says Jay. That's something that Solskjaer has definitely done and changed this year. We've switched to a mentality where we are only signing our top targets. That's why we haven't signed a midfielder. That's why we're probably going to sign Declan Rice, I think anyway. Look, before I do wrap up, ladies and gents, make sure, if you would, join as a member. Join as a member, subscribe, get involved in the United People's TV community. Quite literally, nobody has subscribed, but we've got a few new members here today. We've got Rishav, we've got Cicero. Nice to have you on board. Let's see what goes on over the next couple of weeks. The League Cup, it's disappointing as hell, but I want to see Donny van der Beek start. I'm going to do a video today that's going out at 1 p.m. on Anthony Martial. A shorter video, my opinion, and I'll be honest, I think he should be sold. But I want you to watch that video and make sure you leave your comments on that. Thank you very much for all joining in this morning. As I said, it's interactive. It's genuinely interactive, and it's fair and balanced here on United People's TV. I'm not a fan of knee-jerk reactions. I'm a trained journalist. It's my job as a journalist. Well, it's not actually my job as a journalist, but because I'm a trained journalist, I understand the concept of having a fair and balanced debate. Not everybody does. But Solskjaer, we're top of the league. League Cup, disappointing, doesn't change anything. Young Boys defeat, won't change anything if we still top that Champions League group. But Villa on Saturday, that's important. I'll be here at 1 p.m. with my video on Martial. I'll be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. with my predicted 11. I'll be here tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. You make sure you subscribe. You're going to miss too much if you don't. Anyway, oh, look at that, Niz. Was going to subscribe, but this guy's deluded about Ole and us being joint top. Does he actually watch our games? I do watch our games, my friend, and we are joint top of the Premier League. On that note, take it easy. By the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but we're top of the league.